My parents were both big movie fans. One of the funniest memories of my childhood is my dad used to make us take naps, and then we would go to midnight showings of the new Disney movies because we were the only ones in the theater. Everybody else is like going to see, 2001 or, Woodstock or whatever. And here we are going in to see Bedknobs and Broomsticks at midnight. The first time I felt like we were establishing a foothold here, we'd been open about 4 or 5 months, and we opened a film called The Grand Hotel Budapest, or The Grand Budapest Hotel, Wes Anderson movie. And we did insanely well with it. We were only playing it on 1.5 screens. And we had the second highest gross in the state on it. We were beat by the main art theater in Royal Oak, and they had 2 full screens. So on a per show basis, we were doing more than they were. One of those to us
The walk-in
That's amazing.
It's Christopher walk-in. That's just perfect.
And we put it on there, and after about a week,
This looks like an
I don't know,
Warhol
just like,
painting.
The atmosphere is totally different than any other theater I've been to.
Kind of like a culture, a movie experience. It was like being in the best movie theater in town with the best crowd of people.
It's really rare to find people that you actually not enjoy working with, but actually look forward to seeing. I do work here. I work here to the 6th.
back to the asylum.
No, did you see my poster wall I put up? Don't tell them that. Don't. I work here. I work here. I do. I work here. They'll never get rid of me.
Be like, hello. It's good to see you today. Let me tell you all about my life. I knew, regardless if I was going to spend 30 minutes here, 7 hours here, I knew that I was going to have a good time.
I started the day before Halloween, so my first real shift was on Halloween, and I had no idea that they dressed up here. So when I came in, there was someone all covered in blue and had a highball up here. The first day at the Alamo, I was like, what is this place? Yeah, I had no idea.
The feeling of working here doesn't go away when you walk outside the door.
I felt like I got treated better here than a lot of other places.
Slowly but surely I realized that this was actually a community that people get together actively outside of work.
They all have their charms, and it's we've become like a family.
I mean, it can be dysfunctional sometimes, but we all feel like we belong, together.
To be able to go and have beer and dinner and all of that in one setting and have way less time to pay the babysitter because we were able to do a movie and dinner in one.
Bringing my kids and watching their reaction to the pre-shows. They saw a lot of animation and old film footage that they would not normally see.
We need a Santa Claus on Mars.
I mean, what made it special was sort of the feeling of family and community.
To be able to take my kid, to get him pizza and to see how happy he was to be there, it made for such a great film-going experience.
Of course, the food is there, too, the booze. It's not the movie, it's the experience.
Everything makes this unique. It's really the ethos of the theater. It's by and for people who love movies.
Listed on many lists as the most unintentionally, hilariously bad movies of all time. We are so glad you're here tonight, and we're so glad that you supported the Alamo Drafthouse. We hope that you enjoy the movie tonight and come back for this weekend's offerings as well.
We've had people who said, I don't even care what movie I see, I just wanted to come to Alamo and take a break from everything that's going on. That's success.
The night before, I got an email that said, hey, we have a mandatory meeting. If you can't make it, let us know. And it's around that time that we do kind of like the annual big meeting anyway. So I just thought it was another meeting. I'm like, I've got class. I'm sorry, can't do it. Like, let me know if I'm going to miss anything.
I wasn't able to make it to either of the meetings, so I was in school.
I got a text, and it was like, what do you think about the Alamo? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I'm on my laptop, just, checking emails, taking notes.
I was in a different state.
I think it was like the day after we had just gone here.
I see the Facebook post, and I'm like reading it, and my jaw drops, and I had a friend that was sitting like in the corner that like looked at me, was like, it looked like you had just read that somebody died. Are you okay? I'm like, I'm losing my job. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the Alamo's closing. What?
I looked on Facebook and there was just a message saying, oh, we're closing. And I'm like, what?
At first I thought it was a joke, honestly.
It was a big surprise.
I was very surprised.
That was unexpected completely.
It just was out of the blue. There was no reason for it.
You're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to put fault or blame somewhere. It's like, we didn't do anything wrong. Nobody did anything wrong. This is what's happening.
James, why is the draft house closing?
Because the landlord terminated our lease. It did not have anything to do with the management in Austin being down on Kalamazoo. Everybody was very happy with our operation. Our owner, who lives in Denver, was very happy with what we had done here. We were held up as an exemplary theater in terms of our customer service rankings. We were always like 1 or 2.
At first I was kind of affronted that I heard from MLive via Facebook that we were closing.
I ended up going to the later meeting when they told us the news.
I was like, yeah, they got to be joking. And he starts introducing people. He's like, yeah, this is George, this is Dave, this is Steve from HR. And then I'm like, wait, why is HR here?
We did a meeting around noon, and I would say probably about 60% of the employees were there. And so, of course, they got the news. Well, of course, everybody got on their phones, and we had to make the Facebook announcement at the same time because we knew that everybody was going to start talking about it.
After just 3 years, a Kalamazoo business is closing its doors.
Not the Hollywood ending many were hoping for here in Kalamazoo.
According to the Alamo, another theater company will be taking over. A little bit of time to still get in to say your goodbyes.
I acted like I was losing.
Really kind of hoping that there's like a social backlash.
Very sad.
EPR Properties,
I didn't really
the building,
believe it
have
at
reached
first.
out to them.
You guys know what's going on?
Where is everyone going to go?
Like, this can't be true.
I'm not sure if we spent any real money up here.
Up here?
So nobody was going to see it anyway. So.
Right, that makes sense.
And then down here.
I've said it a lot today, but I'm just so upset that this is shutting down.
Oh, I know. We've heard it from everyone.
I'm sure.
Did you see the Kickstarter they even have successfully funded?
Oh, with the stickers?
Yes.
Alamo.
Yeah.
It was devastating. I mean, you don't think like the closing of a movie theater is devastating, but it really was because it was something that made Kalamazoo special.
Once the Alamo opened senior year, it was definitely a life-changing thing. We never went to another theater after that, so it's been a few years ago in there. At work, we were joking about making stickers and putting them on our cars and our stuff, and we're like, maybe we should actually do a Kickstarter out of this. So started looking at numbers, and I threw a design together and sort of went from there.
We had hit our first goal in days, right?
Yeah, it was about 24 hours.
We have actors that come in to Farmers Alley Theater from all over the country, from New York, from LA, from everywhere. And they live downtown here. So when they don't have rehearsal, they're seeing movies over there, and it's something that has really been a selling point to Kalamazoo for people out of town, and obviously everything that they've done for the community locally.
I spent a lot of time at the Alamo, and I was devastated to hear it was leaving.
It was the second most traumatic thing that happened to me this year, next to the election results.
It was not a good day.
I felt devastated.
I cried. I still cry. It was pretty much just devastating. Would be the word I'd give it. I felt like a part of me was starting to disappear.
So we're right. This is Barbarella right here.
That's the poster. Yeah.
Man.
They just installed that wall right in front.
Why do you think you don't know for sure?
The chicken crossed the road.
Exactly. Why do you think the Alamo Drafthouse choose a town like Kalamazoo?
Kalamazoo had a lot of the qualities that they wanted in an Alamo Drafthouse location, specifically strong cultural community, that has an appreciation for theater, that sort of thing.
So we are in Wellspring Corey Terry and Dancers Theater, which is located in the Epic Center, downtown Kalamazoo. We host an event every year called the Regional Alternative Dance Festival, which brings artists from all over the country and really actually all over the world. They had talked about wanting to do something special, and I said the Drafthouse is walking distance. And we did all this work and all this planning, and then all of a sudden we heard the news, and fortunately our festival still fell within the time frame of them being open, but we were really devastated. They never let the fact that they were closing change anything about what we had done, and we packed the house.
Yeah, the Drafthouse has been great collaborating with local nonprofits. At PMN, we worked with the Drafthouse on Teen Filmmaker Festival. They provided gift cards to all the winners free of charge as a donation to help film in Kalamazoo.
They had like the run-of-the-mill films, the latest Hollywood blockbusters and all that stuff, but they were really big in bringing back classics on the big screen and also making older films like more interactive. They had like sing-alongs and quote-alongs, that kind of a thing.
Me and lots of friends went to go see a lot of movies. I saw 154 movies during 2014. I was here a lot. How had I not seen Fight Club before? Right? Like, this is brilliant. How had I not seen Raging Bull?
You see Marilyn Monroe on a great big screen and hear that voice and see the whole persona, then you understand, oh my God, now I really know why people were obsessed with her. Because really, I mean, the screen makes a difference.
Taking people to come and see, 2001 and on the big screen, it's just a great selection of movies and people who cared about it. The sing-alongs and whatnot, I don't think I ever did any of those. I did the quote-alongs. Those are kind of fun.
People coming in here and just deciding on the spur of the moment, I'm going to go see Barbarella because I just need a break. Lori Moore's hosting it? Well, that'll be great. Okay, here's my $6.
This is kind of a twisted movie. Roger the Deem is the director, and he and Jane were married.
They were husband and wife at this point.
Yes. Husband, he used to force her, I tell you, to engage in orgies with me.
James Sanford wanted some people who had some name recognition, I guess, to be hosts, and he asked me first, and I was super honored, and it's been the best job I've ever had in my life. It's been so fun.
But I think the booze is still flowing, right, James?
I believe so.
Are we still good with that? Perfect.
You'll need a few of them for this.
I worked at a video store, so I had all this movie knowledge for years and years. I was like, but it's got nowhere to go. I was like, James, you gotta let me host Spaceballs. When I was like 5 or 6 years old, I had a copy on VHS, and I literally transcribed it from the VHS. Felt like I was going to do it as like a play or a stage reading at some time in my life.
It's ultimately about the film. Almost all the hosts would do research and have some trivia about the movie.
I came in as a host to all of the old movies, the sing-alongs, the girly nights, all the weird movies. I got to utilize some of my archives of fashion in my hosting, like my Barbarella shirt today. I'm sure my neighbors think I'm real normal.
I mean, you can go see Transformers anywhere. I mean, I wouldn't see Transformers anywhere. But what made it cool was when they showed, Pulp Fiction and Tommy Boy and, the sing-alongs and the quote-alongs. And I was lucky enough to be able to host a handful of them over the years. And, you can go watch Die Hard at home on your DVD player or on TBS or HBO or whatever. But when you're seeing it in a movie theater with 100 people who love it as much as you do and who come with t-shirts and they're dressed up and they're quoting the lines and they're shooting the guns off in the theater and stuff. I mean, you can't get that anywhere else. And but they made it feel like a family.
When I applied to the Alamo, sorry, I'm getting super fucking real. Sorry. But when I applied to the Alamo and when I got hired, I was going through a lot. And I had just accepted a job, which I didn't want, on the other side of the state. And after my first day, Pat had emailed me and said, hey, can you come in for an interview? And I'm like, hey, I'm on the other side of the state. Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, if you can find a way to get here, just let me know. And so my dad and I took a road trip, and I swear, and basically in this suit that I'm wearing without the actual suit, I drove 2.5 hours for this job because I wanted this shit so bad. And I sat down in a suit, I was nervous as fuck, and all Pat asked me was, what was your favorite movie? And for whatever fucking reason, I could not for the life of me say what my favorite movie was. I had blanked. And everybody knows my favorite fucking movie is Star Wars, okay? I'm obsessed with it. But in that moment, I froze up and I said Dope, which was a movie that came out 2 years ago, and at the time was my favorite movie that came out that year, which was amazing. And I thought I fucked up. And the next thing that Pat asked me was, when can you start? And a few weeks later, when I moved into my new house and I got to know my Alamo family, it's weird now because we all know what it's like working here, but that first or even the 2 weeks that I started here, it was like being behind the scenes of a movie. You're like, dude, I get to see where the popcorn is. I get to know where my drinks are. It was like being in the backstage of a Disney film, that's what that moment felt like for me. And even though we know the struggles and we know how frustrating it can be, that feeling is still the same. And I swear to God, even though we're closing, and hopefully at some point I can make you guys proud and get to a point where I have more fucking money than I know what to do with, I swear to God, I'm gonna open up my own fucking Alamo. I'm going to find every single one of you, and I'm getting the band back together. And whether I've had so much experience with you or not much, I don't care. I'm gonna take care of you guys because my parents taught me to never forget where you came from. And you guys gave me a second home. And I will always be indebted to you no matter where I go from here. I love you all so fucking much and I cannot wait to fucking celebrate with you tonight. Thank you so much for this. Thank you.
At the party thing, and I'm like, they don't work here.
Yeah, who are these random people? Yeah.
We kept getting busier and busier right up until the closing. Kept getting busier and busier. We were all like, each Christmas, because we had 4 Christmases here, and each one was just busier and busier and busier, and it lasted longer, and then we were closing. It really doesn't make any sense. I was the service bartender. When we first opened, there was a big mad rush to see who would be who, and obviously everybody wants to be the bartender, wants to be the cool bartender, and we kind of traded off back and forth working out front, where everybody wants to work, and back here where pretty much nobody wants to work, but it started to be I would just rather be back here because I'm kind of a detail-oriented person.
I used to mop this floor every night. I used to clean this. This is heartbreaking to me. Besides, this used to be my service bar, this is where the drains were, the bar was right here, all the taps were right here.
And I always just end up cleaning the shake area because, it's gross if there's old milk laying around. Then it would get busy when I was cleaning, so I always ended up stuck over there. So all those fancy milkshakes you ever saw with the whipped cream and everything, 95% chance that was probably me. I've made untold thousands of those things.
The coffee table never got cleaned back here, and I was always unhooking these and fixing leaks, and now I just look at it and I'm like, it used to be a movie theater.
I mean, this place was pretty good to its employees. They always took care of us. We would close on the Super Bowl, because nobody comes to the Alamo on the Super Bowl, And we, the first year we were open, we had a party at the bowling alley on Stadium. That was a lot of fun. I'll definitely miss the type of people this place brings in, which are iconoclastic and interesting. And also, no matter what we look like, we bust our fucking ass here. And a year at this place is worth 4 or 5 years at any other movie theater. Every night I would come in here at 6. By 6:30, if it was busy, there'd be 300 or 400 people in here. And they all need at least one drink. And people complain about working at a restaurant where there's a boxing match and they all come in at the same time for the boxing match. That happens with us every night, at least once or twice, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Some of the servers would be here all day. They're just giving us what little work there is 60 days later. And I'm not sure why we're staying open past the 3rd if we are, but it's all very strange now with the sign right here. And I don't even know why I'm wearing this shirt. I should put tape over the logo because I feel like I'm just working for some phantom theater now with no name and no butter for the popcorn. It's depressing.
All those Power Rangers.
How does it feel to know that you bought the last ticket to the Alamo Drafthouse?
I think it's really sad. The movie theater is really good for downtown Kalamazoo. Keeps people coming downtown, which is important for the vitality of this area. We also had a deal with the Kalamazoo Film Society that they could screen movies here that we normally wouldn't get to this area. And I don't know where that's going to move to now.
Attending the theater that replaces the Alamo?
No comment.
The bar has been raised very, very, very high.
I don't know.
I'd like to say I will give it a chance, but they're going to have to do a lot to impress me.
No. Just on principle alone. I mean, it's like, again, it's like they were destroying my home.
It was really important for me to know when I heard that the Drafthouse was leaving that to know whether or not they were forced out or choosing to leave, because that essentially determined whether I would be back. And it sounds like they were forced out, so probably will not be back to check out the new theater.
I kind of feel like if they get upset with us for not coming to the new theater, I feel like it would be if somebody crashed a car like right into your living room, and then they got out of the car and they started getting mad at you for not inviting them in for coffee. I feel like it would be the exact same thing. Like it's not a deal you want to be involved with.
We were number one in guest satisfaction in the chain. We made people happy. And that's even more than the ones in Texas that have been there for years. Our guest satisfaction ratings were through the fucking roof because we know what we're doing here and we love this place. Shut this place down, we're not going to like who comes in here.
So was it a financial issue that led to the Drafthouse closing?
I don't know.
I mean, like, were you not making enough money?
No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with that. No. All I know about it is the landlord terminated our lease, and we were originally supposed to be out on April 3rd. And that was announced in January. Yeah, it definitely was not a financial problem. Nobody ever came to us and went, "Oh, you're not making enough money, so we're locking the doors." Never.
I know it definitely sucks. I know there's probably not any one person that I can blame for it, but whoever comes in here, I hope they fail horribly. And that's coming from me, not from Alamo. I know Alamo wants us to support cinema, but I can only support cinema if, in addition to the blockbuster films and endless glut of superhero stuff, that you also play Doctor Strangelove, you play Citizen Kane, you play Hitchcock. That's cinema to me. These movies that come out for us to sell popcorn and soda are fine, but the ones that we show on a Sunday night that only 60 people show up to or something, those are the ones that are important. And whoever comes in here, they might show a Home Alone pizza party or something asinine like that, but there won't be a Xanadu glow along, and there won't be oodles and oodles of glow sticks and necklaces in the prop room for everybody to have fun with. It'll just be whatever corporate stuff they can trot out and put in here.
I feel honored to be able to lock the doors the final time and eventually close down the final time, like turn off all the projectors and stuff like that, because I'm the closing manager tonight.
What I'm going to miss most about working here is definitely my coworkers. They are one of the most diverse groups of people I've ever met, and they all have their charms, and it's like we've become like a family here.
Not having this place here, there's so many benefits that I got from working here that I just didn't even occur to me. I didn't even think about it because I thought this place would be here forever.
I made it a habit over the past years to come in for like brunch on the weekends. So my favorite go-to dish was like the French toast. And it's kind of embarrassing because a lot of the regular servers here, they actually knew me by my order.
When it opened, I thought this was the greatest thing ever. It combines my two favorite things, beer and movies.
People would come to the Alamo regularly from Detroit and Chicago. I mean, people would come all over for the experience of the Alamo.
I got to share Lori Moore's last night here with Barbarella. I was there the first time she hosted it, and I was there for the last time, so it was a treat.
Well, I went to go see Barbarella with my husband, and it was the weirdest movie in the world, and I didn't know what was happening. Every time the 60s songs came on, I looked behind me, and the hosts, James and Lori, were like doing this kind of thing along with it.
Let's hear it for James Sanford. Thank you. He gave us lots of fun. Enjoy.
Lori Moore, ladies and gentlemen. When we were getting ready to do the second Xanadu party, I thought, well, ideally, if I had endless amounts of money, I would bring Olivia Newton-John in to host it, right?
Hello everyone, this is Olivia Newton-John. I'm here in Las Vegas. Hi to everybody in Kalamazoo.
Wait, she did this?
You guys, that's always looked excellent. Have you been the one behind that?
Yep, I did them all except one. So I think I did 15 of them. It was empty, and they just couldn't figure out anything to put up there. And when Force Awakens came out, I did a little quick thing for it. And then the next month was a Tarantino film month, I think we did. And I think it was my favorite, so I just got up there and did something else, and then it just kind of kept going from there. I finished off the year, plus some.
I'm really going to miss the community that kind of has built itself around the Alamo, whether it's just a bunch of regulars or old employees or the ones that kind of stuck through till the end. Everyone is kind of a part of the Alamo family.
I'll always remember all those assholes.
Every single day that I'm here, I'm laughing until I'm red in the face, until I'm crying laughing, because everybody here is such a funny, smart ass. Everyone here is a smart ass. And it's just really nice to work with people who make you laugh that much.
So the fun that they have here, the different shows, the older programming, the special programming, getting in movies that chains wouldn't necessarily get in.
Fantastic. I love this place. To spend my heart and soul for 3 years.
In terms of the place in general, is a very novel concept, and I don't think I can go back to watching movies the same way.
We had our Alamo Oscars, and it kind of felt like graduation, so just moving on, I guess.
Literally comes down to that you guys are all great, and that's why you're here, and you're all going to be great at whatever you do, and I love y'all, and that's all. Let's all stop crying out. That's it.
Where do you go from here?
Where do I go from here?
Yeah, where are you?
As far as like my career?
Where are you headed now?
Well, first I'm going for sushi, but in the not too distant future, yes, I have accepted a position in Alamo. I am transferring to Charlottesville, Virginia. There were so many wonderful people who came in day after day, night after night, who made this a part of their lives and knew many of us on a first name basis. In addition to the guests, certainly my coworkers. It has been an amazing team of people to work with. I've had a lot of jobs. I've worked with a whole lot of people. And there were very few cases where I could say that I honestly, liked and trusted and valued all the people that I was working with. But with this organization, it's definitely felt like that. So yeah, that would definitely be something that I will miss.